my God, it's Maddie Webb.
Dude, you spelled my name wrong.
In what? Where did I spell your name wrong?
Web Zoom meeting, and you spelled it W-E-B.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, you know, it's okay because no one sees that. Wait, I thought also that I thought that I took that part out when I sent it to you. No, I included it.
I don't know. It popped up.
Wait, so this is the house. This is the big, like, this is the influencer house right here.
Yeah, I'm in my vanity room right now. It's pretty cool. You want to see it?
Let me see. Let me get a little 360.
I have a mess because I was rushing to get ready. But, like, this is...
Oh, shit. You really have, like, a vanity room here.
Yeah, I call it the glam room.
Do you have the best room in the house? Does everyone have a room like this?
I do, which is, like, so crazy. My manager always, like, every time he comes in, he's like, ugh. You have the best room. But he picked. His room is bigger than mine, but my room has this vanity room, and then the bathroom's super nice. It's like all marble. And then I have like the patio opening from my bedroom. But I also, it's not just my, like, I have girls visiting all the time. I have bunk beds in my room because
you have bunk beds in your room?
Yeah, should I just give you a shitty tour?
That's kind of childish, isn't it? Bunk beds in the room. Let me see these bunk beds.
Hold on, but I did not clean, so
what do I care?
Right now, I'm doing sheets right now.
But do you sleep in a bunk bed?
No.
Where's?
So here, these are the bunk beds. These are for when girls come and, like, because I have a lab from out of town, and they come and they stay here. This is my bed. Here, I'm doing sheets. God. So don't look at that. I'm doing sheets. And then that's like the patio area. And then this is like my shoot rack. So this is all the clothes I still have to shoot for. And then I have got my other little closet space here. And then an actual closet in here. Boom. It's a mess.
So how many people are in this house?
Bathroom.
You have a bathtub? I feel like that's kind of a luxury.
It's amazing. It's like my favorite part.
Oh my God. Do you ever use the shower, or are you all bathtub all the time?
Ew. Who baths without taking a shower? That's gross. You're like sitting in your own dirt. Like, you have to shower after.
You always do a post-shower bath.
I do a pre-shower bath, and then I do a post-shower.
Seems pretty time wasting.
It's a sandwich.
Don't you live in LA? Isn't there like a little bit of a drought or something? Or maybe they've fixed that.
Podcast.
So let me get this straight, Maddie, because I know you as the Nashville influencer, right? Like, you're the Nashville person.
I really want to be known as that. Nashville's home.
Wait, but you're not from Nashville. Where are you from?
No, I'm from Missouri. I'm from like Boonesville, Missouri.
Oh my God.
Really called Smithville.
Okay, wait. So you were really you were the Nashville influencer, but now how long have you been in LA now? Has it been 6 months?
It has. I officially moved in October, but I started my move, I think it was like July, August. I think it was when I started my
But how did you get out there? Who brought you out there? How'd you get into this house? This is what I want to know.
Here's this sequence of events. I was actually going to go on this reality TV show called Love Island. It felt very much like a last resort for me. I wasn't super excited. I just didn't feel like it fit who I was. But I felt like I had to do it because the door opened, and in my life, I've always walked through every single door that opens for me. I always do it. That's the only way I've ever had any success. I just fucking do it. But, I just had this feeling like this is not the right thing for me. Like, it's not going to lead me where I think it's going to lead me. And so for the first time in my life, I turned down an opportunity, and I just I put it in God's hands. And right before I sent the email saying like, hey, I'm not coming on the show, I was like, dear God, like, please open a window for me. I'm shutting this door because I feel like it's the right thing. 48 hours later, I get an email from my now manager, Cole, basically saying, hey, there's an opportunity to come live in LA. Are you interested? And I was like, fuck yeah.
But yeah. Who is this Cole guy? He emailed you cold?
Yeah, he cold emailed me. He found me on TikTok, and I was more of a potential find. So like, he saw potential in me, but my numbers were nowhere near where they needed to be, like to be considered to be in a content house, you know. So I think he was just emailing me out of like, oh, let's just see, like test it out, like maybe she can come visit. And it's funny because I ended up being like one of the only original like people who were supposed to be in the house that like is actually in the house, and I brought in almost like 70% of like the people who are now under management, which is just so funny.
But Maddie, I mean, listen to me for a second. I mean, you get a lot of DMs, I'm sure, and I'm sure you get a lot of spam. How did this Cole guy cut through the clutter? How did you know he was legit?
Of course, I thought it was like I was. Of course, I have like my, you know, we'll see, you know. So I set up a call. I mean, the email, I mean, it was sounded professional. So I was obviously just gonna give it a chance. So I had a call with him, and it was great because a big preconception of mine for influencer houses is it's all about brand deals, and I don't really care about the brand deals. Like I don't work with a ton of brands. I only work with like ones that, one, are true to my like audience, and two, that I actually like and believe in. And I see all these influencers promoting shit that's just like trash all the time, and I refuse to do that. So that was like a preconception. I like, I don't want to like sign something where I'm gonna have to promote these things that I don't believe in. And our call went so well because he was like, we don't care about the brand deals. It's not like, that's only gonna be temporary money for you. Like, we want to create legit brands, like lifelong careers. So that's when they got my attention, really. And so I scheduled, I was going to be in San Diego anyways. So while I was in San Diego, I went and met him for the first time after having multiple calls. And literally on the drive back, I was talking to my friend, and he was like, I think you're going to end up like legitimately moving here, because my original plan was to do part-time LA, part-time Nashville. No, he was like, no, I think you're going to move here. I was like, yeah, I think so too.
But give me a little character description of this guy, like typical manager guy. Like, what's his deal? Is he tall? Is he short? Like, pull him in. Let's say hi. Is he close?
Let's see if he's going to be like, oh, Maddie, I'm not ready. Let me see.
Let's try to get him in, because I think this could be kind of fun. Let's see if we can get him.
Here. You're so annoying.
Oh my god, what grossed you out? What did he do?
I'll show you what grossed me out.
I don't know if I want to see it. I'm kind of over Cole, to be honest. Oh my god. Ooh, holy shit, what the hell is that?
Little Tony, little homie.
Is that a Komodo dragon, or what is that? Is that the
No, it's just a fence lizard.
Is that a pet, or did you find that in LA?
It's now his pet. He found it in the backyard.
Yeah.
You know, I had a pet gecko growing up. It's actually still alive. I got when I was in 4th grade. And it's still at my parents' house, believe it or not.
Looks like he'll be with us for a while.
You gotta feed it live crickets, though. Holy shit. Yeah. Holy fuck. I feel like this is a way to like subtly flex like your triceps as you're like showing me this lizard. Like, you're trying to show me the lizard, but you're subtly flexing. It's like a double. It's got two things going on. Cole, I want to know, like, how did you find Maddie, and like, what about Maddie made you so convinced that she was the one to bring into this house? Because there's a lot at stake here with this house. You know, anyone can throw the vibe off, and you're putting a lot of time, effort, money into this. You know, you gotta be sure you're reaching out to the right people. How were you convinced that Maddie was not going to fuck up the feng shui?
I don't think he was convinced at first.
Yeah,
I reached out.
Yeah, definitely. I saw she could be well-rounded. I could tell from her content she wasn't just going to be doing singing content or just basic things. I knew she'd be able to evolve well. And I also knew that, you know, it's hard to find good people in LA, so kind of extracting them elsewhere and bringing them here was a smart move. Maddie had a lot of like good qualities, like hidden qualities that I could tell from her content. One, she was a good person. Two, that she'd be able to evolve well, which you have to constantly do with content to stay relevant. So The rest is kind of, you know, she's shown it along the way.
So it was a combination of a couple different things. Is everyone in the house not native to LA? Was that your secret sauce? Let's pull in some outsiders. Nashville, nice. some Southern hospitality?
Yeah. Yeah, basically because, everyone else in LA, they can come to the house anyways. They're already here in LA. So if I can extract other talents and bring them together, it's just kind of a three-headed monster at that point.
So is it going well? Is everyone getting along in this house?
Yeah, we're definitely like always evolving and looking for people that, sorry, homie's just running around like crazy right now.
You gotta deal with this shit, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this lizard. Is this a real lizard or did you really just find this outside?
Yeah, I found it outside.
Is he serious?
Yes.
Dead serious.
He found it outside and trapped it in our kitchen.
Didn't trap it.
And now, Maddie, it's actually now loose in your room.
No, it's not loose. It's still on his back. I'm
I can
very
feel him.
aware of where he is. No, but he like carries this fucking lizard around.
This cool guy is out of his mind. What? He's just got a lizard on his back.
Get me to carry it or touch it, and we had a fight last night about it.
She didn't want to play with Tony.
No,
He just wants to be part of the family.
Cole, last question, and then this really isn't about you at all. This is really about Maddie. So I don't know why you're still here. But last question: What's your background? Like, are you like an influencer management, or were you an influencer yourself once? What's your story?
No, I came from the entrepreneurial space. So I've launched a few brands and I looked at launching brands with them. So that's my goal. Other influencer houses want to blow up the house and blow up their individual name. That's cool. I want them to be very successful individually, but I look to be a partnership rather than management. So it's a little different style. But basically I'm just applying my experience from being an entrepreneur and to their careers basically. So looking at it from a different angle.
And he's worked with influencers before. Like this is not the first time he's worked with influencers.
What's your opinion on Michael Gruen? Do you like that kid?
I don't know him, so I can't speak on him.
But just give me like your impressions, just like from what you see him doing.
Michael Gruen, I don't like. He keeps asking me questions.
I think the kid's crushing it. I'm just impressed by him.
He's a good little shark. Like I said, I haven't even spoke to him one-on-one, so I couldn't even tell you like what the energy was like. But I
don't even know.
He's making some noise. I know that. So
good for him. Good for you too, Cole. I'm into what you're doing over here. You're doing with some good people. I like this.
Well, nice.
All right, Cole, get the fuck out of here. I'm so over you. This isn't even about you. I don't know what he's trying. Oh my God, get that lizard out of here. Oh my God.
Dresses.
You grab him?
No.
I'm gonna leave him in here.
No, stop.
All right, have fun.
Bye.
Wait, so how many people are in the house?
Currently, let me count. Well, like at the moment, there's like a couple people out of town.
No, but who lives in the house? How many people are part of the house?
So I think currently there's only 3 permanent, like people who like legitimately permanently live here, and then we have rotators, so people who come and stay, and those we have like 4 or 5 of those. But I think
how big is the house? The house is massive, right?
It's pretty big.
And does Cole live in the house also?
Mm-hmm. He lives across the hall from me.
Oh my God, this is a party. This is like, did you ever go to college? You never went to college, right?
I did go to college. I dropped out, but I didn't get the fun college experience.
This is it.
Ass off in college. Yeah, this is honestly like I work just as much, but the work does not feel like work, if that makes sense. Like it's not as I'm not doing the kind of stuff I had to do for money in college.
Yeah, I don't want to know what that is. So you
shut up. I'm talking like waitress.
But break this down for me, because you have been I really want to talk about the difference between like being an influencer in Nashville and being an influencer in LA, because you've really done it both. Is there a different community? Like what's the difference between like a Nashville influencer and like an LA influencer? Like, is there a different vibe, or is everyone kind of in this together?
So to be honest, I still have a hard time considering myself an influencer.
What do you call yourself? What do you consider yourself?
I mean, I know that's what I am. Like that's
you have over 1 million. You're pushing 2 million followers on TikTok, right? I mean, I think anything over 1 million is influencer status.
What I mean, I know it is, but I'm just saying like I don't see myself that way. I don't know. But what I mean to say is like when I was in Nashville, there wasn't a time in Nashville until like the very end of my living there where I was fully working as an influencer. So before that, I was working in influencer marketing on the business side. Plus I was in school full time. Plus I was doing like, I was like nannying and waitressing and doing all this shit to do money. So I was in that like influencer community realm, and I was friends with like a lot of those girls. And honestly, the biggest difference between here, like LA and Nashville, is that I always say this: Nashville is community based. So like when I went and like collabed with girls or just like hung out or met people for the first time, it never felt competitive. It felt way more like, oh my gosh, you do this too, like love this, like we should totally shoot sometime, blah blah. Here it's like there's a massive guard up when you meet people, and it's very competitive. It's more so like, how many followers do you have? This is going to help me decide how I'm going to treat you. That's the vibe that I get here.
Is that the why? So I think this is very interesting, because I think in the music industry it's the same thing, that Nashville is very collaborative and very inviting.
Yes,
and LA is maybe less so. But why is that? I mean, why do you think that is? I mean, I don't know.
People come to LA everybody comes here with this fucking huge dream, and they're like, this is what's gonna happen, like I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get to the top. I don't think that's really why people go to Nashville, and the vibe is just completely different. I believe in energies, and like I pick up on energies. Like the energy in LA is completely different than the energy in Nashville.
But do you bring the Nashville energy? Like, do you think people like you in LA because...
I really hope so. I mean, a lot of the reactions that I get, like when I meet people and they actually get to know me, always, the first thing they say is like, you're definitely not from LA, for one. And then
what's the giveaway? Like, what do you do that makes you...
I think that the difference is true. Like, and I really hope this doesn't come across like I'm hyping myself up, because I don't mean to.
Yeah, but this is your podcast. Hype yourself up. Let's go.
I just think that I don't care how many followers you have. I'm going to treat everybody the same. And that's not the mentality for the most part here. Like, truly, I'm probably closer to the people who don't have that many followers here than I am to my friends who have.
But you have to, isn't it part of your job to go out of your way a little bit to sort of become friendly with people who have more followers than you?
Yes, but if it doesn't matter to me if somebody has 10, 20 million followers, like if I don't feel, how am I saying this in like not a bitchy way? I don't care. Like, I will find somebody else to collab with. I know that I'm going to be successful with or without like your 10 million followers. I don't need you. So if you're not going to like treat me or other people well, then I don't want like to involve you in my brand anyways. Does that make sense?
But you do kind of a little bit. Don't you have to start? I mean, that's like a really big way.
Absolutely, I do.
You definitely care a little bit, right? You have to care a little bit.
Collaborations every single day. That's part of the job. That's like what you have to do to get a leg up. But honestly, I've kind of been finding a little bit more success collabing with girls who are smaller, because there's no ego. Like, we get more done, and I don't know. There's just so many levels to this conversation we're having.
But would you put on a face if, let's say, you found you had an opportunity to become friendly with someone who had 20 million followers and they were a total bitch, but you would put on a face and go collab? You would be their best friend, I feel like.
I have been in that situation where no, they weren't like the nicest person, and I didn't reach out to collab.
And you turned them down. You could have collabed, and you turned them down. I didn't
turn them down. I didn't chase the opportunity. I think that if I chased it, I would have gotten it. But it's just, I really don't want to come across like I'm so fucking holier than thou, because that's not it. It's truly about like the integrity of my brand and who I am, because to me, social media is like, it's just an extension of myself. And if there's somebody like, there's somebody who has like way more followers than me and has like I have a huge opportunity, yet like I don't actually like believe in who they are and like or what they're doing, or if they don't treat people well. That I just like I don't care. There's gonna be another person with 10 million followers after that. I'm gonna be that person one day. Like,
You're gonna be that person. Okay, but let me ask you this. Let's say that there's someone else who wants to collab with you and they're going to slide into your DMs. What's the secret to sliding into Madi Webb's DMs to get a response? What does it take? Is it a funny message? Do you like emojis? Like, what does it take to get a response from Madi Webb in the DMs? That's what America wants.
It depends like what the motive is. Like, what's the motive here? Like to have
like I want to collab with Madi Webb. I just moved to LA. I'm fresh off the boat. I've got 100,000 followers on TikTok, but I'm trying to do this influencer thing. And Madi Webb has been an inspiration to me since I was 5 years old. And now I'm back in LA and I want to do a collab with her. And I'm reaching out cold. And it took a lot of chutzpah to reach out to Madi Webb. I was very nervous and shaking it. I retyped it 5 times, but now I'm here and I'm in LA and I want to collab and I've DM'd Madi Webb. What does it? Let's say a girl first, and then maybe we can pivot to a boy. Let's say a girl.
If it's a girl, I'd probably respond. Like, just I usually do respond to like girls who are like, "Hey, I would love to collab or this or that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." Like I don't.
It's easy. Okay, but now if it's a boy, you've got to be a little more on guard, right? You've got to.
I don't respond to guys. I mean, unless it's like you're clearly an influencer and like, I mean, there's been times where I thought the motive was just to collab, and then there was like underlying motive, and so
You never know. You can never be sure what the motives are.
Yeah, so then I have protection in place. Like Cole, like I never will have a guy collab over here unless Cole is here, and like we have like different signals. Like he knows what's going on, I know what's going on. But yeah, so
has he ever had to get involved? Like, has he ever had to get into a situation when then like come and defend you?
He's had to subtly be like that guy who just won't fucking leave. Like, yeah, there's been those situations, but it's not that like I feel like I can usually pick up on it before. Like even last week I had a collab with a guy, and like before he came over I just had a gut feeling like so I canceled it. And
you canceled it?
Yeah,
it's good for you.
I know. Also, like the content idea was I asked him like what his content idea was before, and I was like, not doing that. So
what was the idea? What was the content idea?
Not to put him on blast or anything, but he wanted to do this like prank where he was like pranking me that I was his side hoe or whatever, and I was like, no.
Not gonna work.
Not gonna.
I don't like that. Do you watch content on TikTok and genuinely get entertained, or at this point does it feel too much like your job? It's too close to home. Maybe you're on the app for inspiration, but do you get real joy out of content on TikTok?
Yeah, it's addicting, of course.
Like, what do you like to watch on TikTok? Like, what is your algorithm feeding you?
My algorithm is I hit so much psychology content, like law of attraction, manifestation. I get like comedy. I'm still on fucking like relationship TikTok sometimes, but it's more so like the psychology of love and all this stuff. And then fashion, of course, which is where like I try to get a lot of inspiration from that.
Do we have a fan that was maybe gonna tune in? This is kind of crazy. I've never had a fan on a podcast before. And I mean, this could go any way. But I'm kind of excited to see who we've brought on. Have we ever met this person before?
No, she just like DM'd me quite a bit, and so I just offered to have her on. I just DM'd her. We'll see what she says.
Let's see what she says. So, I think there's two types of there's two routes that I think influencers can go, right? You can kind of go this relatable route, right? And then you can kind of go the unrelatable route, which is like Kim Kardashian might be the unrelatable route. And Charlie might be like the relatable route. Like she's pretty relatable. At least she was in the early days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think about teetering that line? Like, where do you feel like you fall on that of being relatable to everyone, but also having this elevated quality to you that I think all influencers also have to have? Do you think about when you're posting content, is this relatable? Is this too influencery? Like, how do you balance that line?
I hate the too influencery stuff, like especially when I'm doing like sponsored stuff and they'll want me, if they ever want me to do something like way too advertising, I usually have a pitch ready to go for like my content idea. And like I usually like don't follow, like they'll usually pitch me an idea and I'll be like, that's bad. So
that's what you say. Like what's the worst pitch you've ever heard for a content idea?
Oh my God, brands, like the thing that I get so irritated with is like, why don't you hire people who like are Gen Z, millennial, and like know what's going on? Like, why don't you hire
like who are you talking to? Like, are you talking to a bunch of oldies?
It's a lot of times like people who just like think that being like, hey guys, I just found this new product. It's amazing. It changed my life. Like, that's bullshit. I don't believe
that's not gonna work.
No, and you know what? I think of it as like, if I'm watching a content, what is gonna like, what do I want to see? Like I know when an ad is happening and I scroll, because who wants to fucking sit there and watch an ad? Nobody. But I'm very specific about the brands I work with, and I only work with things that I actually like. So then I'll have my own version of content where I actually show.
Like, walk me through this. Like, what's a brand that you like? Like, let's say I'm a toothbrush brand. Would you work with
I'll give you
Give me an example. Who'd you work with?
So I'm working with a brand right now. It's a skincare company. I love their products. I actually used their products before they reached out to me. Great. And so
what's the brand? Can you say?
Sure. It's the Inculus.
Inculus brand. This isn't planned. This is not a plug right here. This is genuine. This is genuine information that we're trying to.
This is my skincare counter, and it's like all Inculus products right here.
This is it. So Inculus reaches out to Madi Webb, and they say, Madi Webb, first of all, we're sliding into your DMs. Okay, is that how they reach out? Do they slide into your DMs? Email. How do all these people get your email? How is your email?
My bio everywhere. It's not.
It's hard. In your bio. Your email is just out and about. Okay, so Inculus sends you an email, and they say, Maddie, we love you. We think you're doing amazing work, and we want you to be a brand ambassador for us.
Yeah. So they're great. Like, I was super excited to work with them, and initially I'm like, so first things first. Send me the products you want me to promote. I'm going to test them out. And then, which I already test them out, but this is just some of them.
See, I think that was a line that you said. You were like, send me some products. I'll test them out. But you already had all of them. I think that was just a line for free product.
Their hyaluronic acid and their lotion, but they have a whole line they send you. So they sent me all their products together so I could test them out. So I tested them out for a week and a half.
What is this? How expensive are these products? So this is Inculus.
They're so cheap. The hyaluronic acid is like $7 for like a bottle.
This is Inculus. I'm looking this up right now. So how you spell Inculus?
Inkey.
So what are you getting? You're getting the recipe builder. Which of the products are they sending you?
So I use the hyaluronic acid, the beta hydroxy acid, the alpha arbutin. I don't know how to pronounce arbutin. They have this lotion that's great. It's called the multibiotic moisturizer. And then I also got their salicylic acid cleanser, which that's probably, I would say that's my top product, if not the hyaluronic acid. But
okay, so they reach out to you and they say, Maddie, like, walk me through this. This is, by the way, this stuff is very affordable.
I know.
Especially
that's why I love it. And it's
skincare
quality product. It's great product. So,
but you could use anything, couldn't you? I mean, your skin is like your most important asset. You could use any product.
No, I disagree. My skin is I'm so specific about my skincare because I have like had issues.
Well, I'm not saying you would use any product, but you could use. You could use whatever product you would want to use. Whatever product would be the best product for you, you could use. The fact that you're using Inky List is a big statement because if it didn't work for you, you could be using something else.
Yeah,
correct?
Because I used to use the Ordinary, which was good, but the Inky List was better, so I switched over. This was before I even like collabed with them, and they reached out to me. But they reached out to me with a concept in mind where basically I would just talk about their products, and I do really like their products, but I knew for my audience like that content was not going to do well. So right now we've been working back and forth on doing something where I wanted to show a picture of my skin before and then after, and then talk about the 3 main things that have improved my skin, which 2 of them are not Inky List products. So we went back and forth a lot on that, and I basically have to. A lot of times with brands, they're like, "Oh, we only want you to talk about us, though," and from my experience, I'm like, but that's not the best way to get eyes on your brand, and that's not truly authentic, because my skin didn't only clear up just because I used this product. Like there was multiple things that I did, and I'm not promoting other brands. You know, I talked about like my water intake and
how much water do you drink every day?
I drink 64 ounces a day because
oh my god,
statistically you're supposed to drink half of your body weight in ounces in water. So if you're 120 pounds, you need to drink 60 ounces of water.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
So how much water do? Okay.
So I drink half a gallon. I weigh like 108, but so like if I drink a little less, it's fine. But I try to get in like half a gallon a day.
Doesn't that make you pee a lot?
I pee so much.
Madi Webb is peeing nonstop. If you shoot a content day with Madi Webb, you better have multiple pee breaks scheduled into that content day. So they reach out to you, and so now there's a partnership here. Are they sending you products, or how often are you posting? Like, what do you get out of this?
So, well, it's paid. So I have 2 posts going live next week. One about their hair care, one about their skincare. But I've redone the skincare video 4 times now. And only 2 of them were because, you know, they wanted me to change a few things. But I'm so specific about my content. If I don't think that it's good enough, then I'm just not going to post it. So, but they've been great. Like we had some disagreements about some things, but we worked it out. And like I like to work with brands who are okay with me being a little more high maintenance, because that means I care more about my brand, and I hope that comes across to them. Because
You're not just the ring-a-ding influencer. This is not, look, she's not here for the quick cash grab, and she's not going to do whatever you tell her to. She's going to do,
because in the long term, that's not going to get me anywhere. That might get me a couple grand right now, but where's that money 5 years from now? Like, I'm
absolutely. You're like a rock star who has to be very careful about what brands they associate with, because it makes a difference, and your fans want to believe
a difference, and I
want to trust you,
because I'm a fan too. I'm a fan of like quite a few different people, and like there's different influencers that I look up to, and I learn from their mistakes and the good things that they do. I try to, at least. And so there's things that I've seen that I don't want to replicate, and there's things that I see that I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That's it. Like, who in your mind really inspires you as an influencer? Like, who?
There's a few like core people that I just love.
Give me the core people.
My very first
By the way, where is this fan that's supposed to be joining us? Do we have any idea? Is she ditching us?
No.
We're probably some of the most famous people she's going to talk to in her life, and here she is ditching us. Is that what I'm hearing?
Stop. That's so embarrassing. No, I just messaged her.
What is she saying?
Late. We're kind of late to the party, so.
We are?
I mean, I didn't message her until 20 minutes after she was supposed to come on.
Well, I think that might be her fault for being late. If you ask me. So, okay, but we were talking about your, like, who do you look up to?
You know who Jesse Perkins is?
Who's Jesse Perkins? He's
Jesse-
a big deal, right?
Desi.
Like I said, Jesse, let's see, Jesse.
No, Desi, Desi.
Desi, what are we making up names here? Okay, Desi Perkins. Okay, so this is your influencer. By the way, this is like, I want to talk about influencers who really have been around for a minute, who know what they're doing. Some of these TikTok influencers have been around for like 30 seconds. It's like, I don't know if they know what they're doing as an influencer. I want someone who's really been around the block, understands how to connect with fans, really make a lasting impression.
I don't like look up to any TikTokers really.
It's Desi Perkins. Yes. This is who. But what's Desi's story? Like, how did she like what was her thing?
It has been around from like the dawn of Instagram. Like she started blowing up like literally like when Instagram basically had a For You page. It was called the Popular page, I believe.
So what about Desi? Like, is she holding herself a certain way? Is it
It's so authentic. That's what I love about her.
What makes someone authentic though? Like, to me, Desi Perkins.
With your flaws. Like, she is so open.
But there are no flaws on this page. What are the flaws? She's gorgeous.
Instagram feed. No, I'm talking about like her stories, her YouTube. Like, she's so funny. Number one, I love her just like spin on life, and she has this whole series about how she went through in vitro, like to have her son, and she's super open about all of that. And she like anytime she has acne, she like makes fun of it. I love that part of her. Like she's always like filming her life, like sharing like small moments of her life. I think that's like the biggest goal for me too, is just like to build an audience who just loves me for me, like personality, not because.
Have you ever met Desi Perkins?
No. I would love to.
How are we gonna meet her?
Hopefully I will, because one of my makeup artists does her makeup. So
can we send her a DM?
No, because I have too many connections with her. I feel like it would just need to be more like planned.
I think you should send her a DM. Should I send her a voice memo?
Yeah, do it.
Let's do that. Here's a voice memo. Here we go. Desi, it's Zak Kuhn here. I just wanted to say that my friend Madi Webb is an incredible influencer, and she is a massive fan of yours. I'm not kidding, Desi. I have her on my podcast right here, right now, and we're talking about how much you mean to her and how much she has looked up to you since the beginning of her influencing career. You were the reason that she wanted to get an account on Instagram, now TikTok, and start being an influencer and start connecting with others and showing her flaws and imperfections to say, we're not all perfect. We're not all gods. We're all human, and it's okay. That's okay. And she looks up to everything you do. She's such a fan. And I just wanted to say that for her. I'm talking with her right now. I wanted to leave you this message. Her name's Madi Webb, MidiWebb. And if you ever get the chance to collab or reach out, she would love to do something with you. Anything really. She would even just to say hi and just to say something over DM. It would mean the world to her. Okay, Desi, I hope you have a great day.
Zach, what's your deal with like not knowing people's names? You go Midi.
First of all, let's see if Desi gets back to us.
Madi Webb. I know I'm short, but
first of all, Maddie, I'm very dyslexic. That's the truth. I'm not even kidding. Second of all, I know your name. I just didn't know how to spell it because I'm very dyslexic.
I can't tell if you're messing with me.
I'm very serious. I'm very dyslexic.
I think we have Jess just about ready to come on.
Are you serious? We're actually gonna have a fan come on? This is incredible.
We owe her an apology too. She's been ready for like 30 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing we're gonna say when she comes on.
I'm so sorry.
You don't have anything to do today, right? We should be over another 2 or 3 hours tops, maybe 4 hours.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to pee at some point.
That's right. Maddie drinks 60 ounces of water every single day, and she pees about 7 times a day, minimum.
4 to 5.
4 to
Wait.
5 times. Do you
Wait,
wake
no,
up in the middle of the night to pee? Are you that person?
No, I wake up at like 5 a.m.
So not in the middle of the night, more like 3/4 through the night to
Yeah.
pee. I pee right before I go to bed, and then I pee when I wake up. But I sleep through the night, no pees.
I feel like guys always have like way bigger bladder.
We've got Sarah in the room. Let's let Sarah in. Oh my God, we've got Sarah in the room. How crazy is this?
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, it's Sarah.
Hi.
Sarah, first of all, Maddie and I want to apologize for keeping you waiting.
No, it's okay.
We kept you waiting, and it's rude. It's not right. We're so grateful that you're here. This really means a lot to us. Where are you coming from, Sarah? Where are you?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Holy cow.
Yes.
Maddie, have you ever been to Albuquerque?
Actually, maybe. I think I have. Past.
Look, Maddie, you've got fans in Albuquerque, and you've just left them hanging there in the dust. You haven't gone and visited them. There's been no. Okay, so Sarah, just tell us a little bit about you quickly. Like give us a little bit of background, because Maddie wants to know, who we're talking with. I'm very curious too. I'm honored that you're here joining us. Little bit of background.
So I'm a full-time college student. I work for fun. I like to paint and do anything creative. I like to watch Maddie's videos. I think she's hilarious.
Aw. That's so sweet.
I like this, Sarah. She's doing a lot of creative things. How did you first find Maddie? Did you discover her on TikTok?
No, I discovered her on Instagram.
Wow. That's
OG.
the OG.
Yeah.
So when she went over to TikTok, did you feel a little left behind? Did you feel like she was leaving behind her OG Instagram followers? Did you feel like she was forcing you to make the move to TikTok? She wasn't dedicated to her original fans, is what I'm hearing.
That is not true.
It's not true. I don't have a TikTok account, so I still feel like I get a lot from her Instagram, and just any videos that I find of her. I think she's incredible when it comes to her fashion and her hilarious videos, or even when you do those interviews with your cousin. I love them.
That like makes my day.
I've never seen these cousin interviews. I want to see them.
She's talking about, so you actually have seen quite a bit of my TikToks, Sarah, probably, because I post I don't post them all, but I post quite a few, and those are like some of my TikToks.
Yeah. So like I still feel like I'm getting great content from not having a TikTok account.
Amazing. Yeah,
but Sarah, let's unpack this a little bit. Why don't you just get Why don't you just get on TikTok? Everybody's on TikTok these days.
I'm not like everybody.
Busy girl. She's a busy girl. She's in college. She works.
She doesn't have time. But think about the Maddie content you could be getting if you were on TikTok. It would be so much more.
That is true, and I bet it's incredible. But I also love the Maddie content that I get on Instagram.
She's not picking favorites with a platform. Every platform is getting treated equally. Okay, Sarah, this is your moment. Do you have a question for Maddie? You've been following her for a while, it sounds like, pre-TikTok. Yes. Surely there must be a question, something you have wondered about her life, about who she is, her deepest, darkest secrets.
Oh, no.
I have several questions for her.
Well, we've got time for a couple. So kick us off with the first question for Maddie, brought to us by Sarah. Here we go, Sarah. The floor is yours.
Okay. So Maddie, what would you be doing if you weren't an influencer?
Oh my gosh.
I'll translate that question quickly. So Maddie, the question is, what would you be doing
Zach,
if you weren't an influencer? That is Sarah's question.
I love this question because I never really plan on becoming an influencer. So before I did social media, I actually worked on the back end of social media. So I worked for an influencer marketing agency. I worked in the music industry, helping artists grow more on social media. Anything in the creative realm, I've always wanted to do. But I honestly thought I was going to end up more on the business side, which I still am. I'm still, working on like I still have a lot that I do on the business side of things, but now it's just like more central to like creative side. But yeah, I think I would probably do something like adjacent to what I'm doing now, just like more on the, you know, office realm, less creative.
Okay.
But I would much rather be on this side of things because I like, of course you know, working with other people who were doing this, I wanted that.
Yeah. I love that answer.
That's a great question. Okay,
Yeah.
Sarah, question number 2. Let's hear it. We're cranking through these.
When you decided to drop out of college, was your family and friends supportive of that decision? Because, I mean, growing up, we're all told that you have to go to college if you want to be successful. And obviously, you're able to still be successful and do something that you love without having gone. Were they supportive? Did you have a good support system for that?
Dude,
Now,
these
careful,
are
Maddie.
great questions.
Careful,
honestly.
Maddie. There's a lot of pressure here because Sarah is currently in college.
I know. That's why I'm like,
And
no.
whatever you say, she might take to heart. There's a lot of pressure here to answer this. Correct?
We've all thought about dropping out. And for some people, that is a good idea. And for some, it's not. And so I was just wondering, from your side of things, how was that support system? Did you have a strong support system?
Short answer, no. I think that honestly, like if I wouldn't change anything going back because I think everything happens for a reason, but I probably should have dropped out after my first year of college. And it took me another year and a half after that to actually do it because of the pressure. Like my family is like my mom's side of the family is Indian. So, you know, and like a lot of Asian culture, like education is so highly, like it's very important. And it was very important growing up. And I never even wanted to go to college. Like I was never that kid who was like, oh my God, this is where I want to go to college. Like I want to party, I want to do this and this. I never cared about any of that. Like, and you know, the fun parts of college, like I never even really experienced. So I was honestly like really miserable in college. And I started getting all these opportunities. You know, I was out there like having these internships and I was also working full time and I couldn't, and I was also really wanted to be on the creative side of things, and I just literally couldn't do it all. And I was spending so much time on this stupid degree that I literally did not care about and knew was not going to like get me anywhere. And I wasn't learning anything. That was my most frustrating part of college. Was like I never felt like I was learning anything in the classroom. I felt like I was learning things through real world experience, like my internships and like literally just going out and doing things and meeting people. And I just constantly had this mentality of like, oh my God, I would be so much better if I had this time that I'm spending on school, like to, you know, pursue like my actual goals. And like, I started working for Warner Music when I was still in college, and they offered me another job after that. And I was like, the fact that one of the biggest labels in the world is willing to hire me without a degree, screw this, honestly. And you know what, I had all this pressure from my family and a lot of my friends, like, you know, I think it's a reflection on them too, so they didn't want me to drop out. You know, they were like, just get through it. But it wasn't the right choice for me, and my family wasn't even paying for my college. I was going into debt every single day, like more and more debt, and I was like, for what? Like, what am I doing this for? Not for myself.
Yeah.
And especially like for you know, my goals, I was like, there's literally no point in doing this, you know. And honestly, in this industry, like you need to do it young. Like you need to like be out there when you're young, you know. I don't want to wait till I'm like 23 to like just getting started. So I literally, like, right before the pandemic, I was supposed to go, you know, into my, dude, also it's so crazy. I was like so close to graduating too, and I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't fucking do it. I can't fucking do it. So I actually told my family I was just taking a semester off, but I knew, and I think they knew, that I was never going back. Yeah. So then the pandemic hit, and my job became remote. And, you know, both my jobs, I was working for Warner Music and an influencer marketing agency, and both of them became remote. And I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. I can finally focus on what I want to do, which is like, so then I just started like creating like social media constantly every single day, all day long. And I started growing on TikTok, and yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. But I dropped out, I think, at a good time. But yeah, I think that I could have done it way sooner if I had the balls.
Okay.
If that answers your question.
Sarah, did we answer your question? Did we give you the insight that you were looking for, the insight and the knowledge? Do you have a follow-up question to the college question? This is your moment.
So then what were you initially going to college for? What was your, I guess, game plan when applying to college and what you wanted to do?
So I knew I had to go, especially in order to like get out of my parents' house. I moved out when I was 18. I never went back, but I chose the college, Belmont University, because it was in Nashville, and I loved Nashville. It's always been home to me. Like Missouri was never home. LA is not home. Like Nashville's the only place I've ever been like, oh my God, this is where I belong. And I chose the school for that. And also it had a music business degree. So that was my major. And in theory, that was like a good degree for me because I was working in the music industry. But honestly, you can't learn the music industry from a classroom, especially since it's constantly evolving. Like these old ass professors talking about publishing deals that like they don't work like that anymore. And I would get so annoyed because I was working in the industry during like going to school, and like they would say stuff that wasn't even right. And I would just get irritated. I was like, why am I here spending like $1 million?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sarah, question number 3. Do we have question number 3? No pressure. You've been asking some great questions here.
Oh my God.
I do have a question number 3. So what were some of your long-term or short-term goals previously, and how have they changed now?
Yeah, it's like I don't know why, but it's very hard for me to remember like what the heck did I think I was doing before? Like what the heck? Like I honestly feel like I was flying on the seat of my pants. I just knew for a fact. I think that I was manifesting long before I ever even knew what that was. And I just manifested this life that I knew that I was going to have. Like I knew I was going to be successful. I just didn't know how. So I just like hit the ground running when I got to Nashville, and I literally just like created jobs from thin air. Like I was consulting with musicians, like helping them grow on social media. And I think before dropping out and all that, like my plan was literally to go and like get a 9-to-5 job at a big label and like build myself up that way, and then possibly eventually like become an artist myself or whatever. But it's hard to remember now because things have changed so drastically from that time in my life. Like I just feel like I'm a completely different person, but now my goals have completely shifted, and they're less about the real world jobs. Like it's like I'm creating a career for myself now. Like I'm like making something out of nothing. So now like I'm working on fashion line and just like growing my social media and getting more into I just partnered with Thistle Farms, which is a great nonprofit in Nashville, and like pursuing things that I'm passionate about, because now that I'm building an audience, that's like the best part about it, is that you hope that they support you in whatever endeavor that you decide to do. But yeah.
3 questions asked by Sarah. Sarah, before we let you go, any final thoughts? Any other questions we didn't answer? Any final things you would like to say to Maddie? This is your moment, Sarah. This is all about you.
So obnoxious. He's so obnoxious.
He's awesome. No, I just wanted to say that I look up to you. I do see you as a role model. I know the word fan. I prefer supporters.
Yes, I hate the word fan. I'm glad you said that. I hate that word. I think I said that on my story too.
So from my end as a fan, it's more of supporting. I'm here on the back end. Maybe you don't always get to see, or you have so many, but we're all supporting you. We root for you. You are so inspiring. Your fashion sense is on point, and you just seem so genuine and authentic, which is why I see you as a role model, especially because we're not that far off in age, and to see that you're doing everything that you love, and there's so much more that you want to do, and to see you happy with what you're doing just inspires me to want to do everything that I dream of doing, even if I don't always have support from people I know.
And you have no idea how much that means to me hearing that, because I don't get to hear from, I mean, I get DMs and stuff, but yeah. It means, it's like I have chills all over my body from you saying that. Truly, it means everything to me that you just said that. And I want you to know too, like, I had no support, none. Like my own mother told me the other day, she said, you know, look how far you've come with none of my support. Like, I love my family so deeply, but you know, you just have to make decisions for yourself. And that means so much to me that, you know, that comes across. And I do hope that you do everything that you want to do, and like, no matter, and I support you. I'm now one of your supporters. I follow you now on Instagram and everything. But
yeah, and that inspires me, because I know that with a lot of the things that I want to do and the decisions I'm going to make, I won't have my family's support with that, or some of my friends' support with that. And so to see that you were strong enough to take the initiative and do that, and now you have their support, inspires me to do that, because I know they love me enough that eventually they will support me. When they see something I really want to do, I'm going to do it no matter what.
Yeah.
They will come through eventually.
They will. My family has, and I know that everything's going to work out for you. And things are still working out for me. I'm literally nowhere near where I want to be. And like, I'm so glad that, you know, we can be there for each other now. Yes. on this journey. Thank you.
Oh my God. Sarah, thanks for taking the time to come on. It means a lot to,
wow.
It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Maddie. Stay well and let us know if you need anything.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. This means everything to me. So thank you so much.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Sarah. You're the best. Thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you.
It was nice to meet you guys too. Thank you. Bye.
Zach, is it okay if I cry really quick?
I love Sarah. Who was that? Love Sarah.
Wow, she was amazing.
But let me get so Sarah, you know, Sarah really has an opportunity right now. She could really build some kind of relationship with you. Like, first of all, she could DM you. She could get your email. What won't you give out? Is it your phone number that you're protective over? What? It seems like you're pretty approachable for anyone.
I'm not protective over any of that.
So you would give your phone number out to anyone if you felt they were a safe person.
Yeah, I would happily give my phone number to Sarah. She's great.
So where do you draw the line? You're just so approachable. You're approaching 2 million followers. First of all, it's a little weird that Sarah wasn't on TikTok. I think she should get on TikTok. But you've got 2 million followers on TikTok, and if the right person DM'd you, you would give out your phone number to anyone?
Of course.
What do you mean, of course?
I mean,
where's the line? At what point would you stop giving out your phone number? Like 5 million, 10 million followers?
It's not a numbers thing. Like people like Sarah, I hope to always have in my life, and I hope that I can, like, you know, if I have the chance to meet them like this or talk to them, like I will happily like become their supporters as well. It doesn't really. I don't think the thing is, like, I think there's this like preconception as like the more followers you have, the bigger you get, like, you know, the more exclusive you become. And I really don't want that. I don't want to become that. I truly don't. I want to continue being authentic and approachable and, you know, friendly and all of that too. Like, no matter how big that I get, and I think that it will probably get harder to like weed through people, like when I do get to that point. But people like Sarah, I hope to always like have some kind of relationship with.
I thought Sarah was great. I like Sarah a lot. She had some good questions. She used her time wisely, and I think she thought through what she was going to ask. She really prepped for her moment. She did not waste it. So wait, last question, because I really got to let you go. I've kept you way too long. But what does this mean when you say you're designing a fashion brand? How do you do that? Because that's pretty foreign to me. Are you doing these sketches? Do you have to find a manufacturing partner? Has someone approached you about this? Walk me through this.
This is just the first launch. It's going to be very simple. I don't want to say exactly what it is yet, but it's not that serious. I'm doing some very light designing. Like right now I'm working on the branding and like the logos and sourcing the product, but this first drop is going to be super minimal, which it's just going to be small, and this is just a stepping stone to like eventually having that like bigger.
Is this something I would be able to use as a male, or is this going to be no, this is not going to be for me? But Sarah, our good friend Sarah, might be a
I'm going to be sending her everything.
Sarah might get a package with
she's totally getting
this in it. So we're putting it together like a little drop like this. This is very exciting. Maddie,
what?
First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on this afternoon. It's a Sunday. There's a million things you could be doing right now. You could be shooting other content.
I'm in church right now. That should be in church.
You made a conscious choice to blow off God this morning.
I didn't. I had my God time this morning, pre-podcast.
Okay, pre-podcast.
Time.
Your moment with God. But I appreciate you taking the time to come on because I know how busy you are. And you're our first guest. This is actually the first, so we have no track record. There's no reason you should have said yes to this. It's probably a mistake, to be honest. So first of all, I want to thank you for coming on. No.
I'm going to be back. This is not the end.
Maddie, we're going to bring you back. We're going to get the update on the fashion line. Second of all, I want to thank you for bringing on Sarah. It was really great to have her come on, to hear her perspective, and to just see her sort of look up to you. That was really it was inspiring to see.
Yeah. Oh, I
really enjoyed it.
I wish I had a better I wish I could like portray my reaction better because I was just so it felt so good to hear that. I wish I didn't know how to truly portray like how grateful I was.
It was really a moment. I was feeling it also. And we learned a lot here, Maddie. We learned that first of all, it's really easy to get in contact with you. It's probably too easy. You might want to put up some walls or some fences to try to separate you from the poi halloi, if you know what I'm saying. And we learned that Desiree Perkins is your hero, is one of your favorite influencers.
I do love Desi.
And we messaged her during this podcast, and we'll see if she gets back to us. So I do feel like this was a very productive time.
I do feel that way as well.
Is there anything we've left out? Have we not covered anything?
I think we've got it.
We've got it all. Look, I've kept you way too long. I promised an hour. We're pushing an hour and 20 minutes. But you were 9 minutes late, so I'm putting that on you.
Yeah.
But Maddie, it was great to spend this afternoon with you. I hope we get the chance to maybe I'll be in LA sometime. Would you get lunch with me when I'm in LA next?
Of course.
You would. You wouldn't like big time. And can you show me a good time in LA? Like a good I want to check out like a couple cool stores, the best lunch spot.
Best. I barely leave this house, but I'll do my best.
Okay, we'll hang for a moment. Not too long because I'll probably get sick of you, to be honest. But for a little bit.
You could come tour the house.
Can I stay in the bunk bed?
No.
That's reserved for influencers who are collaborating only. Okay.
Emails.
I don't want to stay in the bunk bed because I like my space. I want my own room. I want my own space. I'm not staying in the bunk bed. But this has been great.
No, the real thing is like when I move back to Nashville, then we'll be able to do this podcast in person.
I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so?
I don't know if I want to do it in person.
Zach! Okay, fine. Whatever.
I know you. I don't think so. I like doing it on Zoom. There's a good distance, which I like. Okay. How's my voice sound? This is actually a brand new mic set. Does this sound good?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah, it really does.
It's really good.
Your room is clean.
What are you doing later today? You got anything going on?
Yeah, I have a collab on the way.
Is that, and then what are you going to do for dinner? Because sometimes I follow what you're eating. I go, Maddie eats very healthy. Are you going to, like, what are you eating tonight? Do you have it figured out? Do you meal prep everything, or are you going to figure it out tonight?
I'm probably going to eat one of my meal preps. I do meal prep. If I don't, I end up Postmating, and then it's not healthy.
I know I do that too. Like when I Postmate, it's not, I always get like pizza or like something really unhealthy, but it's so good. But what's like when Cole's home, like, cause I used to live with a roommate when I was in college, and her and I were very friendly, but we would stay out of each other's way. Like we would totally leave each other alone, but sometimes it'd be kind of fun to just have someone else in the room, right? To like come home and to see that like someone else in the house you can have a conversation with or something. Like, is it still kind of fun to hang around Cole and the other people in the house, or at this point are you kind of sick of them?
No, I mean, I definitely get sick of them. I'm an introvert. I'm such an introvert, and like I never get my introvert. I rarely get my introverted time, but I really enjoy like, like hanging out with people, like with them, and like talking, and like we have a lot in common because of what we do, so it's nice. And also they know my life because they're always around me, so I can vent to them a lot, and it's nice. But yeah, I'm also excited to have my own place again.
When is that going to be? Do we have any idea when you're going to move out?
Back to Nashville.
When are you going to move back to Nashville?
I would really love to get a place by the end of the year.
Wow. So we will do this in person.
That's what I'm saying, bro. But I think it'll probably be like a part-time situation, like part-time here, part-time there.
I want to spend part-time in LA also. Maybe we can go back and forth together.
What do you like to do in LA?
I want to hang around music people in LA who I have a lot of friends in LA who are in the music business, and I don't see them that often. I want to make more friends in LA who are in the music business.
That's good that you have relationships here.
As opposed to what? Being a loner? Knowing nobody? That's not how I roll.
I mean, that was me when I first moved here, though. I mean,
were you able to make friends outside the house? Like, have you met friends that you feel close with in LA?
Yeah, I've met a few. It's just so hard.
Is it hard because LA is hard and it's spread out, or is it hard because of the pandemic? It's hard to get out and meet people.
Like, I don't have a car, and a lot of people, like, no one lives.
You need a car. Where were you? You need to get a car.
No, I don't want one. I'm terrified of driving.
How do you get around though?
Uber. I spend $1,000 billion on Uber.
Wow, I really hope those brand partnerships are coming in.
Oh, I might be partnering with Lyft, which would be awesome.
That would be pretty great, actually. That would really be convenient for your lifestyle. Okay, Maddie, look, we've kept you way too long. Once again, I'm so appreciative that you took the time. I'm so excited for everything you're building. It's so fun to see. You're someone that's really fun to follow. I'll tell you why. Because if you follow Maddie, you can really see growth over time. Even in the time that I've known you, there's been visual growth in terms of numbers and the things you are doing. It's exciting to follow someone who has growth. Someone who stays still is not very exciting.
It's so nice to hear that because I've been feeling pretty stagnant lately.
Well, maybe lately you've been pretty stagnant. What do I know? But in the time that I've known you, there's really, because I feel like I knew you when you had a couple 100,000 followers on Instagram, on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple more 100,000. Now you're pushing 2 million.
No.
And you've started to add different pieces. You've moved into a content house in LA. You've got this fashion line coming. I mean, there's all these elements that are really coming together that I don't think you had when I first met you. And it's exciting to see those things happen.
I was a mess when I first met you.
You really were. I was pretty embarrassed for you. But you've cleaned up. No, I'm joking.
I cleaned up. Thanks.
Maddie, this is it. I'm signing off. Any final words before we part?
Thank you for having me.
Maddie, thanks for coming on. It's great to see you. Excited to do this in person when we get the chance. Give my best to Cole and that fucking lizard.
Fucking lizard.
And we'll talk to you soon. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.